Evening, folks. Just watched Arsenal beat Chelsea 2-0. Deserving 3 points for the Gunners. They were the better team from start to finish. Team news, first of all. So Aaron Ramsey and Lucas Torreira came back into the Arsenal team. And once I've seen those two names on the team sheet, I fancied Arsenal then. I always feel they're a better side when those two guys are in the starting lineup. Bellerin came back in as well in a back four. But unfortunately, it looks like he's picked up a pretty serious injury. So I think he got the clean sheet points. I think it was after the 60-minute mark where he picked up his injury. So that looks like it could be a long-term thing, which could make someone like Maitland-Niles, he could become an option. I don't even know if he's a midfielder or a defender. He may well be listed as a midfielder. I'm not sure. But yeah, Torreira and Ramsey were both excellent. Ozil was back on the bench but didn't feature at all. Another sign, he's a complete stay away in FPL this season. The Chelsea lineup was pretty standard, no surprises in that one. The usual suspects were all playing. Hazard was the false nine again. He huffed and puffed, but again another blank. Very, very frustrating as an owner. And how much patience do we have with this guy? I'm just hopeful that if Higuain does come in, that will help Hazard, because Giroud came on after about 65 minutes and Hazard was more effective then, when there was a recognised centre forward on the pitch. So hopefully Higuain will come in and hopefully will improve things for Hazard. Chelsea in general, they pass the ball to death, but they don't create much. I don't even know if they had a shot on target in that game. I know Duncan Alexander from Opta had a stat up at one point towards the end of the game that Chelsea's last shot on target was in the 64th minute in the Newcastle game last week. So that gives you an idea of how much clear-cut chances they created today. The goals for Arsenal came from Lacazette, an excellent individual goal, excellent first touch in the box, and then beat his man and beat the goalkeeper. A great finish. The assist for that one went to Bellerin. So he's going to probably end up on about 10 points, Bellerin, after that one with a clean sheet and the assist. The second goal then was the two centre-backs combined. Socrates took a kind of a shot, I think it was, from the edge of the box, and Koscielny tried to head it towards goal, hit off his shoulder and ended up in the back of the net. So it doesn't matter how they go in. Big goal for Arsenal, that one. And Koscielny was immense at centre-back. You can tell his body's not really fit for it anymore, but he soldiered on right through the game, and he was probably man of the match, in my opinion, on that one. He played a big part in the clean sheet. A rare clean sheet for Arsenal. We haven't really been able to touch their defence this season, but maybe that'll be a sign of things to come. That performance today, they were very, very good defensively. Kolasinac got a clean sheet, and like always, he passed the eye test again. He probably didn't get us forward as much as he usually does when they play the wing backs, but he still had quite a few opportunities. He was getting in the box, getting touches in the box, and he had a couple of goal attempts as well. So he always has attacking potential. And as I say, if they can start picking up more clean sheets, he's definitely someone I'd be interested in. Chelsea, as I said, nothing of note. It was I sold Alonso this week, and it wasn't very enjoyable watching the game because he was very attacking. Taking up great positions. He hit the post again. I don't think any player has hit the woodwork more than Alonso this season. I think that may be the 5th or 6th time he's hit the post. So it was a header from I think it was a corner or a free kick. He hit the post, and he was in the box frequently. There was quite a few occasions where he was trying to get shots off. So I feel kind of fortunate to come away that he only got 2 points there, because I thought he was going to punish me watching the game. Alonso was quite lucky as well. There was an incident towards the end of the game, I think it was Maitland-Niles. He seemed to put his hands in his face. Now, I didn't see a replay, but on first glance, if the referee had seen it, Alonso could have been in trouble. So I'll need to watch that one back and see if there was anything more to it. And possibly if there was more to it, there could be a retrospective ban. But again, I only seen it in real time. I didn't see a replay. What else did I pick out from the game, from the eye test? So something that I picked out from this game and the Wolves game earlier today was these two-man corners. A lot of teams seem to be sending two men out for a corner, and whoever places the ball, rolls the ball, plays the ball short, and then the other guy whips it in. So I think that's something where the eye test comes in. If you're just looking at the stats and you're looking at who's taking the corners, Spurs do this a lot as well. We often see Trippier and Eriksen go out to take the corner, and Trippier will play it short to Eriksen, and Eriksen's actually the guy who whips it in. So if you're just looking at stats, you'll think, right, Trippier's on corners, that's great, but it's actually Eriksen most of the time who whips the ball in. So it's him who has the greater assist potential there. So that's something just to keep an eye on. With corners, just because a player's taking a corner doesn't actually mean they're whipping it into the box. Often it's played short and the other guy's whipping it in. So that was happening in this game as well, with Arsenal in particular. Something else I picked out, I mentioned it on my podcast last week, was David Luiz's distribution from defence. He very often looks for long balls over the top, and it was Pedro again this week. There was twice he played Pedro in over the top, and on one occasion Pedro was very close to scoring. He tried to lob the keeper and it went a couple of inches wide. So Luiz always has that assist potential from those long balls out of defence. I think he's on a 0-pointer today though. He got booked. He had a bit of a shocker, especially first half. But again, just wanted to highlight that assist potential that he has. I mentioned the Bellerin injury. A couple of other players just to shout out. I'm some of the players that are popular in FPL. I mentioned Kolasinac, passed the eye test again. Aubameyang, again, as a non-owner, I never enjoy watching Arsenal because I always feel that Aubameyang is going to do damage to me. But he didn't have an awful lot of chances today. First half, he looked pretty sharp. There was right in the first 5 minutes, Lacazette played a ball across the box, and Aubameyang really should have made contact with it, but he missed it. And then in the first half as well, he had an acrobatic attempt that, watching it, I thought it was going to hit the back of the net, but it went wide. Second half then, Chelsea kept Aubameyang pretty quiet, but I still feel he's an excellent FPL asset, and I think is it Cardiff he has next at home. He definitely has a good fixture at home next anyway, so he's a definite hold if you own him. And he's probably a strong captaincy candidate as well for that one. Mentioned Alonso. Hazard, I briefly mentioned him as well. Very frustrating watch as a Hazard owner. So hopefully he does get a striker in there, and I think he is a lot more effective when he's on the wing. But again, it's I've got other fires to fight this week. I've got Balbuena, I've got Kamara, so I'm probably going to end up holding on to Hazard for a little bit longer. But I think anyone who doesn't have any issues in their team, you have to ask yourself the question, is Hazard worth having? Because he's very, very frustrating to own at the moment. I added Willian and Pedro to my watch list last week, and both of them, Pedro probably looked at the best of those two tonight, but again, he came off early, which he often does. Willian was pretty ineffective in that game. So I think that's the main FPL topics covered. Another point on Chelsea, just watching Chelsea, I find it pretty, I love N'Golo Kante. It's amazing what he's done in winning titles in the Premier League, but I struggle to see what he offers that Chelsea team in this system. When he gets into the attacking third, he seems to get a nosebleed. He's really out of his comfort zone when he gets into the final third. And Jorginho as well, it's all just short passes. There's very little creativity from him, and I would just much rather see, even if it is Giroud, start up front, Hazard on the wing, and then just drop Kante or Jorginho. I don't think you need both of them in there, but Sarri seems pretty set in his way, so that's probably not going to change. So I'm rambling on a little bit. That is Chelsea, the Arsenal-Chelsea game covered. As I said, I'm probably not going to be able to watch the games live tomorrow, but what I'll do, I'll record them and I'll watch them back Monday or Tuesday, and I'll do eye test then for those. So enjoy your Saturday night, whatever you're up to, and I'll talk to you all soon.